today. Today we are going to talk about how ideas for rewarding yourself, whether it's achieving your goals or weight loss or whatever the case may be. I thought this would be a fun kind of a expansion on how I use my health and wellness journal, and I thought I would share this with you. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. For those of you wondering, my hair is naturally curly. It's a bit of a rat's nest today because I haven't worn it curly like this in 2 years, and I desperately need a haircut. So that's actually a great segue into how I set up my rewards. Now, one of the eating plans I was following had a great way of separating the rewards, and that was to separate it into tangible, social, healthy, and self-care rewards. Now, I know self-care means different things to different people. Self-care can be something as simple as getting up in the morning or even just brushing your teeth, depending on what you need. And so I'm going to be talking about self-care as in a way to reward yourself. So self-care ideas that you wouldn't necessarily do for yourself, but it's something you enjoy. So that's kind of what I mean by self-care. And then, of course, we have the tangible, which is the stuff, and then the social, which is kind of limited by our current circumstances. So I put some ideas down, but they're not necessarily anything that'll happen anytime soon, but they're there because, you can dream. And then I have healthy goals. Now, what they mean by healthy goals is food or non-food related healthy goals. So if you're trying to lose weight, for example, it's very easy to be like, oh, I'm going to reward myself with a piece of cake or something along those lines. But then that just ends up potentially setting you back and causing a backslide. I know I'm definitely like that. I'm very guilty of using food rewards, and I'm trying to break out of that habit. And so the healthy rewards are things that don't necessarily cost money, but aren't food either. So let's talk about each individual case a bit more. So I wanted to get into some examples of the different kinds of rewards that you can use. So for the tangible rewards, that obviously is specific to each person. To set up my tangible rewards, I ended up just looking at my wish list and picking and choosing from there. There are a few things that I really like. I like the smaller jewelry brands where the jewelry is not necessarily that expensive, but still nice quality. And so I have a couple of those items on my list. I have some pens because, always more pens. And so I know I'm lucky to have an Archer and Olive journal, but that could also be an example of something that's tangible or even for self-care, for journaling. But what I tried to do was I tried to limit the money spending things to the tangible and the social versus the self-care and the healthy. So for social goals, it's hard not to tie in social goals with, for example, food rewards. So going out to dinner with friends or going out to coffee with a friend. For me, I'm trying to wrap my head around it and accept that, it's about balance. I'm not going to eat like that every night. And I can still make healthy choices when I go out for dinner with my friends. So therefore, it's definitely on there. I love mini golf. I really enjoy mini golf. We're headed into winter here in Alberta. So a lot of these social options are not going to be an option for much longer. Plus, I have 2 younger kids that don't necessarily or won't be fun taking them mini golfing. Same goes for go-kart racing. That's something I'm excited to do with them as they get older. I have geocaching, which can be social, or I also have it under healthy, but we'll get to that in a minute. Bowling, and I really enjoy game nights. My husband and I really like playing board games. That's something we can do together. That's something we can share together. So that's not a problem at all. And I was even thinking about, you send a friend a board game. or you drop it off at their house with some wine and popcorn, and then you play over Zoom. It's not the best, but it could still be fun and worthwhile. Next, I wanted to touch on the self-care rewards. For me, it gets pretty basic. I enjoy bathing, pajama day. Oh man, not having to get dressed in the morning is a real treat for me. We're back in school now, and the worst part is having to get dressed in the morning. So having just a full-on, no guilt or guilt-free pajama day is right up my alley. And then a haircut and a color. I mean, this can be... Some people are really good about self-care, and especially when it comes to hair maintenance. I'm not. So I'm trying to use this as a reward because it's getting pretty desperate. So I'm hoping this will be enough of a motivator to get me to just buckle down and reach that reward. Then there's a manicure and a pedicure. Again, a manicure is something I can do for myself. So that's not a big deal. Massage, I miss massages, but again, that gets kind of expensive. So that would be a bigger reward. And eyebrow wax, eyelash tint, that's not something I necessarily do for myself. So I would count that as a self-care reward. And then the thing I'm the most excited about for my self-care is allowing myself time to just sit and color in. I have so many coloring in books that I don't use or that I've collected and I don't use them. So guilt-free coloring where I get to practice more coloring techniques and practice playing with more palettes and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that one. Now we're going to get into the healthy rewards. I did struggle with this one, coming up with some ideas. I have written down a yoga class, which again is something you can do online or on YouTube, and then just, create that space for yourself and do some yoga. I'm not a big yoga person, not a big fan of yoga. I like more of restorative yoga, where you go in and you hold a pose for what can feel like 20 minutes just to stretch out. Like, that's the kind of yoga that I like to do. I have geocaching down again. Honestly, I've only done it once and I had so much fun, and it's something I would happily do by myself. And then I have some kind of more expensive ones. My family's talked about doing ski lessons, and so for a weight loss reward, I feel like ski lessons could be the end goal or the end reward, just because, my knees aren't the greatest, my joints aren't that happy with me. So having that extra weight off could just make the lessons that much more enjoyable. I have Tourists in Your Own Town, a mindfulness class. There's a lady in my community that does mindfulness classes over Zoom, and so I was thinking about that. Guilt-free art journaling, like just for me. I love sharing my work, and sometimes it can be a lot of pressure, and that's not the purpose of art journaling. The art journaling is to be free and just put what you feel on a page. And so I have that down. Sudoku puzzles, which could technically be self-care. Playing a new video game I recently bought. I finally broke down and bought Link's Awakening, and I'm loving it. A movie date night, that could be fun. And then something that's, I'm sure if you're watching this and you're into bullet journal content, you can relate to this, but reorganizing my stationery. I said specifically my December daily stash because I have a ton of Christmas and December related crafts. So yes, reorganizing my stuff is definitely a reward to me. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I have linked down to the blog below where I talk more about this and I share more about this as well. And then also some ideas that you can pull from. Of course, some cost more money than others. Some cost nothing, which is always great. Others cost a bit more. And again, if you're looking into the tangibles, that's something that's very personal based on your budget or whatever the case may be. My rewards, or these rewards for me, are related to weight loss goals. Probably didn't need as many as this. I hope I don't need as many as I've written down, but it's always nice to have options. And, if you're having a bad day or a hard day and you just need that time for yourself, or you need some time to just work through what's going on, it'll be great to have this list just to pull from it and see what you can do to just enjoy yourself and just reset. So thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate it so much, as always. Again, I've linked to the blog down below, and if you have any ideas or suggestions, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much.